Hello, Michelle and Naomi. How are you ladies doing today?
Very good.
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. When I found out this series was, produced written by David E. Kelly, I was like, no brainer. I'm in. Michelle, I want to start with you because let's put it this way. Kate Woodcroft, a far cry from Lady Mary, I would say. What was it about her that you thought, because on the outside, she's got to be calm and confident and she's a lawyer, but inside there's stuff going on there. So was it hard to find that balance?
And it was a journey, sort of finding that balance throughout the job, and a really interesting one. I kind of loved sort of discovering who she was as it went on, and for my part, we sort of got to play it chronologically as much as possible, which was really great, really useful. The last scene I shot was the last scene with Sienna, which is
Wow.
rare. It's kind of rare that the schedule works that way. I I love playing complex women, and she certainly is one. And I love that her character really it takes time to sort of discover who she really is, and um, she's kind of created so many boundaries and parts and layers of herself that protect her from, I guess, being hurt, and also sort of armoring herself for what she does for a living.
Right. Yeah.
It's something she feels very passionately about, prosecuting, and particularly these cases, that she's had to create quite a hard shell for herself. But I love those parts that are just, there's this hard shell, but actually underneath it, there's so much more, and she's far more vulnerable than you think she is.
Absolutely. It's a very juicy role, that's for sure. I was wondering if this was kind of a frustrating role to play because here's a woman who is accusing a man of rape, and he, of course, is so privileged. He's like, oh, it's consensual and stuff. That had to have been extremely frustrating because she's kind of it's hard. A lot of people, these cases aren't reported, these rape cases and things, and it's tough on these women. So it had to have been a little bit tough, I would think, for you.
Yeah, I guess that frustration of the situation and the story itself helps, fuel the performance to an extent. But you're right. I think for me, it was definitely an eye-opener in the sense of even just walking out into that courtroom. It was a set, obviously, but it was so daunting, and it was, the performative element of it, having to do that. I was really nervous, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that is actually like when you have to, in front of all these people who aren't necessarily supporting you, you're having to retell your trauma to people who are deciding whether you're lying or not, and the pressure to be this really good, perfect witness, because any small thing can really just, it's almost as if that can, people get so easily swayed the other way. And I think you're is aware of that in terms of, I need to be perfect, but obviously asking a human being to do that it's just impossible for your emotions not to be connected to that. And so obviously there are those moments where her emotions come to the surface. You have the person who has caused you so much pain to your right, then you have someone cross-examining you and talking about your sexual history and using it against you, and I hope that those scenes, I'd like to think that those scenes do open up conversations around, asking just the questions of why do you think, the audience member almost being put in the seat of the jury and having to kind of really kind of deal with how they're reacting to what they're seeing. And I like the idea that it asks more questions of the viewer than it does kind of tell you what to think.
Completely agree with you. I could talk for hours about this series, but you both did such a wonderful job in it. I really appreciate it. And Michelle, I am counting down for Downton Abbey movie. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
So soon.
Hopefully we'll talk to you. Like them in France. I mean, come on, what more can you ask for?
I'm sure I'll see you next
I
week.
hope so. I hope so. Ladies,
See you
thank
on
you
the
so
next
much
one.
for your time.